Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the Build Your Coaching Business Around the 9 to 5 podcast. In this episode, I am going to be sharing with you why you don't need a niche. Now, if you're a life coach and you've been in the industry for a hot minute, this is going to go one of two directions. You're either going to be massively relieved to hear this, or you're going to be real pissed off that I said that. This is why one of the mistakes I see so many new coaches make is that they try and put themselves in a box way too soon. Now, the logic behind it is understandable. Obviously, you want to be clear about what you're talking about, who your ideal client avatar is, who you should be speaking to, what helping people qualify themselves to figuring out if you're the right coach for them. And I think the problem with all of this is while it's well intended, it's incredibly limiting. And you don't yet know what exactly you're going to be known for. You don't know where is going to light a spark in your potentiality. You don't know what it is that you want to be known for because you haven't done it yet. And I think this is one of those things where there is a really strong case for both, but I'm going to advocate for the side where you don't need a niche because, quite frankly, I'm yet to see a coach, including myself, who chose a niche super early and was able to stick with it for longer than a year without hating it, doubting it, changing it. And this is why I want to offer this to you right now so that you can really reconsider where you're spending your time trying to figure out what you should be doing and how you should be doing it that's preventing you from actually going out there and doing the damn thing. Because this is the problem with choosing a niche. I see so many of you wasting so much time figuring it out, choosing your ideal clients, choosing your tagline, deciding what you want to be called, deciding what your program's going to be about and who it's going to be for, that all of that stops you from literally getting out there and meeting people and cultivating relationships and building coaching experience and building business skills. You don't need a niche in order to do any of those things. Now, in the last podcast episode, which was becoming a life coach, I shared at the end of that episode one of the big reasons why we don't need a niche. It's because life coaching is already a niche. It's already so damn niche. Because whilst we're in the industry and we think everyone knows about life coaches and all our new best BFFs are life coaches and all we think about is life coaching and personal development and spirituality, and that's probably all we see in our feeds anymore, and that's all the email subscriptions that we're signed up to, and that's where all our extra money is being invested into. We are a pretty niche group of people that do this kind of thing. If you go to Waterstones or go to a bookstore or a library, if you look for the personal development section, it is a tiny section at the back of the shop. In actuality, that represents the population of people that actually do this kind of work. There are a lot of people out there that don't have any awareness of wanting to make a change, don't have any interest in making a change, think that people who spend time and money, especially on working on themselves, are just crazy, and that people who do what we do are a very special type of person. And I'm seeing it happen more and more in mainstream media. Obviously, the discussion of mental wellness, of mental health, of self-awareness, of talking about our emotions, of inner healing, it is becoming more mainstream, which is a fantastic thing. But the amount of people that actually do life coaching and actually invest in life coaches and know what a life coach is still incredibly, incredibly small. So for you to then take what's already a very, very niched industry and go even more niche when you don't even know what you want to be known for and you don't have much experience and you're still developing your coaching confidence and you're still getting used to being visible and claiming your message and knowing what your message even is and knowing what you even stand for, it's too much too soon. And you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot, trying to define yourself before you have found yourself. So this is what I want to offer. Be a life coach. Allow yourself to experience all the things that you want to experience. Because here's another truth. You can have the most defined niche in the world and you'll still be coaching on everything. Because when a client sits in front of you and they're telling you what's going on, I can guarantee what's happening in one area of their life is happening in every area of their life to some greater or lesser degree. And how it shows itself might be more potent in another area of their life. And therefore, that ends up being the thing that you're coaching on, even though they came to you for this thing over here. So you need to be open to and willing to coaching a client on anything and holding the space and creating the transformation, no matter what they initially came in the door for. Because that's what we do as life coaches. We offer transformation and we go where the client needs to go. What else do I want to say here? There's so much I want to say. Now, when do you niche? That's probably a really good question to answer. When should you niche? I think you should niche when you have clarity on something that you can speak about for a really long time. I'm not talking about the next couple of months or the next season or the next year. I'm talking, really consider this. Would you be willing to stay in your niche for the next 3, 5, 10 years, decades even? They say true success doesn't happen overnight. True success happens over a decade. If that's true, would you be willing to stay in your niche for that long in order to see and sustain true mastery and true success in that area? And if not, I would ask you why you feel compelled to go into a niche far too soon. Niching can happen, though, in more slight ways than being majorly specific on like the client problem or the specific topic. There may be things that you already know that you definitely don't want to do. And if that's the case, then you can absolutely decide right now that you don't ever want to coach on those things. And by doing so, by the exclusion of certain things, you're also kind of already niching down, even if you don't think of it as niching. For example, very early on, for reasons I will explain in another episode one day, not today, I realized I didn't want to coach men. That was a decision that I made and I feel 100% certain about even 3 years on. That might be the case for you, or it might be that you don't want to coach children. If that's the case, then you can absolutely create those parameters and make that really, really clear. And that in itself is kind of defining a niche of sorts. I therefore only coach women. But beyond that, when I say niching, I think most people think of it as determining what they are by way of a title or by way of a bio or by way of a specific topic or field. And if that's what's causing you to not take action because you're in that indecision phase and you're in that overwhelm phase and you're scared of excluding something and you don't want to exclude and you're not sure if you can include, then I would just say ditch it all and just speak about what lights you up right now. Because it's also okay to be multi-passionate. And I think this is where a lot of multi-passionates also get stuck. You're scared of defining yourself. So then you in your efforts to avoid definition, you don't do anything instead of just choosing something. So I have a client at the moment who is really, really excited about women's empowerment, about sexuality, and about money. I mean, in a lot of ways, those topics are very much interlinked. And that in itself is probably going to be where my client ultimately ends up talking about all of those things really powerfully. But at the moment, those things are very separate in her mind. And while they are, the idea of honing in on one feels like the exclusion of the other things. And if you're finding that's the case for you as well, you want to talk about one topic because it really excites you, but you're also scared about excluding other topics. My invitation for you is don't put yourself in a label, but just get yourself talking about whatever lights you up right now. And by extension, you're naturally going to attract people that get you. And when you start attracting people that get you and love what you talk about and love your style, then whatever the next topic is going to be about, they're probably going to stay with you. And the ones that don't stay with you aren't meant for you. And that's not a problem too. Because there's 8 billion people in this world, and there is plenty of people that potentially want what you offer. And so this leads me on to the third thing. Once you've identified what you maybe don't want so that you can start excluding some things, even if it means that you're not actually niching down on any specific thing, The real thing you want to lean into as you're thinking about a niche, if you're still thinking about a niche after at this stage in the episode, is that the only real niche is you. Whatever topic you chose, whatever modality you choose. And when I say topics, that could be something like, I only speak about money, or I only speak about parenting, or I only speak about sexuality, or I only speak about lifestyle, or I only speak about careers. Those are topics. It could be that you're a niche by modality. So it might be, well, I'm an astrologer, I'm a human design reader, I'm a tarot reader, I only do NLP, I only do ICF life coaching. So you could be kind of niched by your modality. But even if you had those things, the real niche is you. And what I mean by that is, and this is something I teach inside my Thrive program, even when you do have very clear specificity around who you serve, what you serve them with, and what their transformation is. And whether that's just the offer that you're selling right now, or who you are as an entire brand in terms of who you're going to be forever and a day. What people are really buying into, regardless of your niche, regardless of your modality, regardless of what you serve and why you serve them and the transformation you offer, people are only ever going to buy it from you because of who you are. There are a million people that talk about what I talk about. You're listening to this because there's something about the way that I say it that you're connecting with. And your clients are going to do the same for you. And this is the most powerful thing that you can lean into in this episode. The reason why you don't need a niche is because you are the niche. And if you're thinking, what the hell does that mean, Pamela? What that means is everything about who you are, your hair color right now, the way that you look when you look into the camera, the way that you smile, the way that you speak, the accent you have, the language you have, the color of your skin, the background that you come from, the history that you have, the transformation that you've been through, the stories you tell, the passion that you have, the way that you show up, the energy. The energy is the unspoken emotional frequency at which I'm vibrating at. All of these things are going to be what connects you to me, no matter what I'm saying. Now, what I'm saying does matter, obviously, because if what I was saying didn't resonate with you at all, then obviously you wouldn't continue listening or watching, and that's absolutely fine. But why me over any other business coach? Why you over any other life coach? It's because no one can be who you are. And this is the most important thing that you want to lean into as you are building your confidence with getting visible, your belief in yourself, and as you're building your vision about where you're going to take you as a life coach and the business and the vision that you want to grow it into. At the end of the day, none of it happens without you, because you are building a soul-led business. You're not just selling a commodity. You're not just selling something that any other factory could create, stick the same label on, and sell it for a slightly cheaper price. This is why, as life coaches, we have such flexibility to charge whatever pricing that we resonate with. And pricing is going to be a discussion for another day, because we can only ever sell at the pricing that resonates with our frequency. Anything above that, people will think is too expensive. Anything below, people will think is too cheap. You can only ever sell at the price that reflects the frequency that you're operating at. And so people are only ever buying into and connecting into you. That's why it doesn't matter what the niche is. It doesn't matter if the niche changes for you, and it's going to change. And just as evidence of that, I have changed my niche 3 times. I started as a purpose coach that then kind of became career coaching. I then moved into burnout coaching. And then I moved into business mindset coaching. I didn't start off as a business mindset coach. And I wish if I could go back and do it again, which is why I'm preaching this preach, is that I don't want you to be defined by that, because that was something that kept me stuck for so long. I knew I wanted to be a career coach because that made the most sense for me in terms of my background, but I only did that because it felt safe. Maybe you're choosing a niche because it feels safe to you. Maybe you're a mother and you feel like you should be a coach for other mums. Or maybe you are like me. You've had a background in recruitment and HR or career change, or you've gone through that kind of transformation yourself, and you feel that that's the safest thing that you could offer. But really, if you could do anything, what would you really do? What would you really be? And you get to go be that. There is literally no rules. There is no one to stop you. The only thing that's ever going to stop you from being the most successful and the most aligned and the most lit up by your own work is you doing something that doesn't truly resonate and isn't truly in congruence with who you are. That being said, it might feel safer and more incongruent to do what feels safe, because that's what safety does. It creates parameters of safety and comfort for us to operate in. And sometimes we need to stay in what's safe in order to be able to do it more powerfully. But when you really listen to the voices of your heart and your soul, what would you talk about? What would you do? What would you say if you could do no wrong? What would you do and what would you say if the people who are connecting to you and who are listening to you are listening because it's you that's saying it? What would you say then? How would you show up? What would you offer? What would you want to communicate? If you can do it from that place, from that soul-led place of true authenticity and true congruency of what lights you the fuck up, just because it does in this moment, then what would you do? Who would you be? Who would you serve? And how would you serve them? And in the early stage of businesses, in the early stages of building your business, this is the only way you want to do it. Because if you try and do it any other way, you're trying to be something that you're not. And that's always going to be harder than being who you are. So this is your big fat permission slip to stop trying to fit yourself into a niche and trying to find a pretty little IG bio that you can upload so that you can finally start getting visible. I want you to scrap the idea of creating the I help statement, and I want you to make your IG bio. So we're going to get really, really practical and really, really tactical right now. Because all of this sounds really good, but I hear you saying, but Pamela, what do I actually do though? I still need to write this goddamn Instagram bio. And I still need to show up and I need to have something to say. So let's answer that right now. I want you to scrap the I help statement, and I want you just to come up with anything that lights you the fuck up. So if, like my client, you are interested in empowering women in sexuality and money, and follow me for more discussions about this, and I'm a life coach and I can help you, that is your bio done. Get something written that excites you, maybe even scares you a little bit. And I want you to ask yourself, do I feel into this? Is this really me? Is this what I really want to say? And I want you to ask yourself, am I saying this for the people I'm scared are going to see this? Or am I saying this for the people who are going to love this? Because those are the only people you ever want to speak to is your soul clients, not anybody else. Not your mum, not your boss, not your partner, not your biz bestie. You're saying it for the people who need your medicine. And your medicine is just you being who you are in your authentic power, in your authentic truth. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let me know if this was helpful. Drop me a message if you have any questions. If you have used this and if it's helped you in any way, let me know. If you want to leave a review, if you want to leave a comment in wherever you're listening, then I would absolutely love, love, love to receive it. And if you want to work with me, I invite you to book a one-to-one free consult with me. And the link was going to be in the show notes or in the comments just below. And we will connect and we'll talk about where you are in your business right now and where you want to go, and how my Thrive program, my one-to-one 6-month coaching, well, life and business mindset coaching program can help you build your business around the 9 to 5. I can't wait to connect with you. And in the meantime, I will see you next time. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.